coming to the counties and going right into the wards. And that is something that makes us or attracts BBI to us. But I also believe that in this council, that is where in future I foresee or I predict future presidents will be coming from the Council of Governors, because I think we should go to the next level of regional premiers, so that then we can create and harness these leadership skills, because the second-term governors surely have experience, have wealth of knowledge, involved factions, and they do need to remain within the counties and be able to advocate, which brings the context of the economic blocks. There's a high time that we also make them look better and move to the next level, because that's how the counties will synergize and become more productive. And with those few remarks, I wish to congratulate everyone who has participated today, the new leadership, the chairs of the various committees, and we'll continue working together for the betterment of our people of the Republic of Kenya. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Governor Mwaniki. His governor is here, and there is no protocol hitch there, because he's actually the chair to the forum for the deputy governors. So he's not speaking because he's more senior than his governor. Governor Ruto is here, is the governor for Laikipia. I now want to invite the minister in charge of devolution, Minister Eugene Wamalwa, to give his comments.
Thank you very much, Mwangi Wairia, Governor of Murang'a County, and the Vice Chair COG, Excellencies, Governors present, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be here today, and it's been such a short year, I must say, because I was here last year when we had these elections. The only difference was that last year it took much longer than it did this year. I recall I got here very early last year with the Speaker of the Senate, with the Chair of the Devolution Group, our development partners, but we were here for quite a number of hours before the white smoke eventually was seen. Today I'm told the white smoke came much earlier, and I'm here to congratulate you, to congratulate the team that has been given a new mandate to lead a very critical institution. When we are talking about the future of Kenya, the two levels of government must continue working together in the spirit of Article 6, in consultation and in cooperation, and therefore the leadership of COG will play a major role to work shoulder to shoulder with our President and the two levels of government synergizing. For us to realize the Big Four agenda, that cooperation is very, very necessary. For us to realize our Vision 2030, and you remember that we are now in 2020, we've just begun the new decade, meaning in another 9 years, we must all work together around the clock to ensure that we realize that vision that we set out for ourselves in 2008 of a middle-income country that is industrialized with a high quality of life for its citizens in all our 47 counties, for all our 47 million Kenyans. That will not be realized unless the leadership of both levels of government work together very, very closely. Today, as I congratulate the team whose mandate has been renewed, I want to pledge our total commitment to work very, very closely with you. I remember when we started last year, we went through quite a number of challenges. And I must say that that cooperation has proven that when we work together as one people with a common vision, a common destiny, we can overcome all these challenges. This year alone that has just ended was one of the most difficult years for our country. It was 1 year when we started with drought. Many governors who are here, particularly in northern Kenya, the coast, all the way to Turkana, know what we went through combating drought. There were counties that were very much devastated by the effects of drought. In the same year after drought, the second part of the year, we're dealing with floods. After the floods came the locusts. I remember my brother, Governor Ali Roba, called me and he told me, when you come to northern Kenya today, it's green and beautiful everywhere. The regeneration of the vegetation had made the pastoralists very happy that perhaps for another year or so, we will recover. Our animals will recover. Before again from the Ethiopian highlands, where the floods came from, where we saw locusts coming to our northern part of the country, and I'm told they might have reached Laikipia. I don't know, my brother Nderitu Mredi is confirming. So it's been a difficult year, but our partnership in terms of interventions, dealing with both drought and floods in the same year, confirms one thing, that going forward, we must realize that one of the biggest challenges we are going to face is climate change. Climate change is a reality, and I want to thank all of you, particularly counties, and I must give the example of Noreb. Under the leadership of Chairman Mandago, Noreb counties actually became the first block to sign you setting up the climate change fund. And Governor Nanog, I know how much you have put in. I know you've been one of the hardest hit counties when it came both to drought and flood. So I want to encourage all counties, because disaster risk management is a shared function. We must continue working together, both levels of government, to combat the challenges of climate change, to ensure mitigation, and to ensure building resilient counties that will overcome these challenges now and in future. On that, I want to assure you of the total commitment of national government, but also assure you, as His Excellency the President announced the other day, we have indeed already, with our development partners, been able to arrange a fund of over 5 billion that will go towards dealing with these devastation, both of floods and drought. And those that were affected, particularly West Pokot, Professor Lonyangapo, I want to assure you that we will be working very closely with you, apart from the interventions we made, to go to the next phase of reconstruction of the lives of the affected families, to go to the next level of rebuilding their lives, their homes, and this is one area that we are going to go to. So going forward, let's hope this year will be a better year than last year. But for the leadership, Chairman Oparanya, that will take over this coming year, our support is given. The only issue we'll ask is our Parliament, both houses of Parliament, to fast track the issue of the disaster risk management bill. We need a very structured way of dealing with disasters, both levels of government, and when we do in a structured way, we will be able to overcome. Therefore, that legislation is necessary, and we'll work together to push our parliamentarians to ensure that the necessary framework is in place. Going forward also, apart from the disaster risk management policy and legal framework, the regional economic blocks policy. I know that we spoke about it last year, but as we speak, we are the tail end of concluding that policy. And I'm so happy that even as we are looking at the BBI report, the task force on the BBI has captured the importance of regional economic blocks. I know that these are the new building blocks of our national economy, and I know that they are going to be the engines that will drive our economy. And we, again, as national government, we pledge our support in putting in place the necessary legal and policy framework to enable the regional economic blocks be operationalized, be strengthened, and be magnets of private sector investment. And this is one area that we're going to work on very, very closely. Let me thank you also for taking leadership on the issue of constitutional changes. Devolution is the game changer, is the greatest gift the 2010 Constitution gave every Kenyan. But we also know that there's room for strengthening devolution. We want to thank you because you are not bystanders when it comes to matters constitutional changes. One thing that is very clear is that the biggest winner when we are talking about BBI, the centerpiece of BBI is actually devolution. Therefore, tunataka tuombe magavana wetu ya kwamba tayari ule uongozi mmepeana leading from the front line on matters BBI to continue doing so, ili magavana wetu wasiwe maabiria kwenye meli ya BBI. Tunataka umwe mabaharia and to lead the process so that these changes, when they come, we want the governors to be in the front line, to lead their counties so that this country goes in the direction that will strengthen devolution, that will bring the fruits of devolution to every corner of our country. Lastly, on the Big Four agenda, we want to thank the counties who are the first four to pilot UHC. We are talking about Machakos, Isiolo, Nyeri, Kisumu. We have finished that pilot phase. As we speak, in the last 1 week, we are upscaling UHC. And we have had over 15 counties signing up the MOU, the Intergovernmental Participation Agreement, that will facilitate scaling up of UHC from the original 4 pilot counties to all the other 43 counties. I want to thank the governors who have already signed, and to thank my sister Cicely Kariuki, who has had over 11 meetings with yourselves, work closely with you to ensure that this is done. For those of you who have not, we urge you that the Big Four to be realized, for UHC to be realized, we need this partnership, we need to work together, and please do sign. On affordable housing, we know that up to now almost 30 counties have signed the MOU with my brother C.S. Mashari. For that also to be realized, we want to encourage those who have not, that we work together towards realization of the Big Four agenda through this partnership between national government and the county governments together with our development partners. Let me thank you and congratulate you. This is the day for the new team. I don't want to take up much of your time, but just to assure you that the challenges we have faced can be changed. We have pending bills challenges. We want to assure you we want to work together more closely. The 2 levels of government, I want to assure you, will continue respecting each other. We'll continue consulting and cooperating together. I want to remove that notion that perhaps the national government was trying to direct or to dictate or to force county governments. We want to work together on matter spending bills to ensure that only eligible bills are paid. So that understanding, we want to continue strengthening it so that we work together. Let me thank you once more, congratulate you, and ask the Vice Chair to come to bring the chair, who will then make the official speech. Thank you very much. Thank
you very much. Remember, I had warned you that governors are more efficient than anyone else. So we came ahead of time, we did our game ahead of time, and some other important stakeholders have also joined us. So it is not a break of protocol, because Waziri will later come here unveiling the whole team thereafter. So we shall allow about 3 more people to give their comments. One is a representative from CAF. The County Assembly is represented by the Speaker of Embu. So few comments. Just 1 minute for that.
Thank you, sir. Very quickly, I'll just read the chairman's CAF written speech. Less than a minute. All the 47 governors of the Republic of Kenya, all the re-elected officials of the Council of Governors, the Cabinet Secretary, the Chairperson, Deputy Governor's Caucus, Chairpersons of Constitutional Commissions and independent offices, the Council, CE and staff, development partners, members of the 46, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I start by congratulating all the newly elected, re-elected officials. receive warm greetings from the chairperson of the County Assemblies Forum, who is aware of official duties. Kindly also accept the regards of the entire leadership of the forum. Increasingly, the legislative and executive arms of county governments have been cooperating and working in unison to ensure service delivery for all our citizens. This cooperation, especially from the as we have a stronger voice when engaging with the national government, constitutional commissions, and independent offices, and even the judiciary and the media. We at CAF acknowledge that leadership of the Council has played a major role in this. Just last year, His Excellency Wycliffe Oparanya and his executive team led us through the streets of Nairobi as we marched to the Supreme Court of Kenya to file a suit on shareable revenue to counties. And this was not the beginning, rather a continuation of the FAFA's leadership at the IBEC meetings, where the economy and budget of this nation is often discussed. And even at the Senate and National Assembly, where both the Council and the Forum have been consistently petitioning for fair allocations to enable us provide services to our people in the 47 counties of this republic. Our two umbrella bodies have jointly organized capacity building for our staff in both the assemblies and the executive arms of county governments, have jointly reviewed national policies and ensured that the interests of counties are protected, and have even jointly represented the nation in engagements with other subnational governments across East Africa and the continent. We are honored by the manner in which the Council has engaged with us. The leadership of His Excellency Wycliffe Oparanya, His Excellency Mwangi wa Iria, and His Excellency Professor Kibwana have been respectful of the role that county assemblies play, specifically on oversight, policy approval and legislation, and resource allocation. And we note that this has not just been at the helm of the Council, rather increasingly, the executive arms across the nation have improved relations with the legislative arms. Excellency Governors, this has only been made possible by the mutual understanding of the respective arms of county governments that we lead. We've had challenges which have been handled better now than during the first term of devolution. And we have confidence that with continued partnership and cooperation, while respecting each other's independence and mandates, we shall achieve even more milestones as the devolution family.
Feel that development at grassroots level. And that development would have to be planned and implemented by people who have the feel, the knowledge, and the capacity to respond to the needs of the people right from the ground. So we look forward in SRC to be able to work with you in these efforts, and are convinced that with such objectives we will deliver the country in the right direction, both at national level and at the county levels. Personally, most of you are colleagues we have worked with, and I was so happy that you are able to be elected as the governors of our respective counties. I have full confidence that you can deliver on the objectives that the people of Kenya are looking for. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you very much. We said we are not following any order. It is on a live basis. And we also wish to recognize the control of budget. She's an important ingredient in the devolution business, and I think she can just say a word. Control of budget. We are not following any order. It's the order is based on who.
Thank you, Chairman, MC. It's my pleasure to be here, although I've been a bit ambushed. I wasn't sure I would be called so fast. So mine is just to say that I'm happy to be here, happy to be invited, and we are working together already. There is a lot for me to do, as the governors here know. I can a few queries here and there. All those things that we'll be asking from time to time so that there is a smooth flow of funds. We do not want the counties to be looking at the county revenue fund and seeing the amounts there, but they cannot spend it. So mine is basically to be ready to help the counties to spend the money as it becomes available. So I hope that I'll have the support that I require to be able to help you. So we'll be helping each other in order to fulfill the mandates that each of us has been given. So with those few remarks, ilikuwa tu ni salamu, and I wish you successful deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Control Budget. We now have the Chair, CRA, Dr. Jane Kilingai. Chair, Commission for Revenue Allocation.
Your Excellency, your governors and your leadership. Oh, Waziri, how are you and everyone else in the room? Good afternoon. I want to start, like everyone else, by congratulating the Council. You have observed that you all came after you. And it's because in the past, we've often made it here at 1 o'clock, sat through for several hours, and we give up and go away. So today we had said we'll get there at 3 o'clock. We know how long they take. So I want to congratulate you, because for once, you've changed the process. You've demonstrated that the Council has come of age. You've demonstrated this is a family that is now of age to conduct your affairs in a very efficient and effective manner. And I just want to congratulate the leadership, which we have worked with very well in the past. I think, Your Excellencies, I really don't want to say a lot. This is a continuation of a journey we've been working together. We just completed a very long and protracted process on the division of revenue. We are now in season 7 or season 8 of division of revenue? And I think it's not new to us. We know times are getting harder. The fiscal space is going to be much more constrained than in the past. So it's time to tighten our belts, but we'll do our best. I think we as a commission, there's no doubt we are committed to this process. We're committed to seeing the strengthening of devolution. And perhaps in the entry of the leadership, I just want to put 3 items. There's a lot more, but I want to put 3 items for consideration and where we are really looking for support as we continue this journey. And in the first item in your entry is, we know we have crafted the 3rd formula for sharing revenue among county governments. Our approach in this new formula is that finances should follow function. That is actually what we are anchoring the formula on. And in the absence of costing of functions, because I know this has been a big elephant in the room, asking whether devolved functions were ever costed, we believe that the formula will start that journey towards ensuring that finances that are devolved are based on devolved functions. That is the first item. We know it is in the Senate, but I know they will be calling the COG as we go towards approval and debate within the Senate. we have engaged before, and we hope we'll continue in this journey, and that you'll be supportive of the process, that will take us to a formula that is more progressive and that is really trying to ask the question, are the finances enough for the functions that are devolved? That's the first item in our collaborative entry. The second item I want to put in your entry as the leadership is, I know not all counties are marginalized, but we have the second policy identifying marginalized areas. You recall, Excellencies, that there was a court case and it was ruled in favor, but in essence it also created a gap in implementation. As of today, we do not have the institutions in place that would help push the implementation of the marginalization policy forward. And I think this is the time that will be called upon in our mutual collaboration to see that we can unlock this process. It's now 2 years into the policy, and it has not, the mechanism for triggering implementation has not even started. So the court ruling actually complicated matters a little bit, but I'm hoping again with the support of your leadership and again with continuous engagement, we can unlock this process. And the third one I want to put in your entry, as you've observed, the fiscal space is going to be more constrained. It's getting much harder to increasingly or argue for more resources to counties. And I know Kenyans are looking at you. And the first question they ask, do you see areas governors what they're doing with this money? So we're hoping that you will give devolution the name and the place that it requires in the Kenyan fiscal space. That Kenyans can look back and see, actually devolution is working, devolution is making changes, so that even us, when we stand up and argue for more, Kenyans can stand with us and argue, actually say, yes, we can see it, let's get more money on the ground. And finally, the one I want to put in your entry is, again, we have done our assessment. Counties can mobilize a lot more money than they are at the moment from their own sources of revenue. We know you can correct more, and we start by and are hoping we can work together to come up with measures and policies that can trigger the great potential that lies within, particularly the urban counties. Counties like Nairobi, Kiambu, Mombasa can correct more than double what they are correcting, and this will free up resources for other counties that don't have the same potential. So I look forward to working with you, and thank you very much for giving us this opportunity, and we look forward to just making the country better.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Daktari. We are also honored with the representation. We are also honored with the representation of the various international working partners. We have UNDP, World Bank, and DFID. And I want to welcome the chair to the Devolution Donor Working Group, Mr. Con Omole, on behalf of Development Partners. Con?
Thank you very much. My name is Con Osendo, chair of the Devolution Donor Working Group. The UK and UNDP are co-chairs of the Devolution Donor Working Group, and we are honored that you invited us to be with you today. The British High Commissioner and the head of DFID, who would have been here, as you may have seen in the news, are in London for the Africa Investment Summit, which the President is also in attendance in. So first is just to congratulate the Council of Governors for your consistency in the leadership transition and passing on the baton from one team to the next in a collegial manner. I think that is one thing that we as development partners have always been happy and impressed about. Our membership, bilateral countries and multilateral organizations that you have all interacted with, and includes the US, the UK, Norway, UNDP, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Germany, the EU delegation in Kenya, and the World Bank. We note and commend the Council of Governors for the role in the rapid and successful transition to a highly devolved governance system that leaves no one behind, and we are proud, all of us are proud, of having been partners with you in supporting devolution to date. I think in the last 7 years or thereabouts of implementation, just in capacity building, we have provided about 20 billion shillings in technical assistance and capacity building across all 47 counties and across different ministries. We are also happy to note a lot of the innovation that has taken place under this previous leadership, or the outgoing leadership, that has picked up from successive leadership of the councils, including things like the regional blocks, which we all have a very keen interest to see succeed. Like I mentioned earlier, the UK Africa Heads of State Africa Investment Summit is ongoing, and I think tomorrow President Kenyatta and the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson will discuss the strategic partnership between Kenya and the UK, and this will include, among others, support to devolution for economic growth and improving service delivery. Just to wind up, I think we are also happy with the partnership across different arms of government, the work that the Council of Governors has done with Parliament, and especially the Senate, the work that the Council has done in seeking the interpretation of the law in the judiciary, and I think some very good jurisprudence has come out of that. But also the constitutional commissions and independent offices represented here have worked quite well with the Council of Governors. And as the new executive gets unveiled today, we pledge to continue with the financial and technical assistance to devolution and all agencies at national and county level, and also to the Council of Governors, who we have continued to support. We encourage the leadership of the Council to continue to steer progressive dialogue with national government and all stakeholders on important issues that matter to Kenyans, such as inclusion of marginalized groups through economic and governance opportunities, and a sustainable funding model for county governments, amongst other issues. In conclusion, Kenya has benefited from the unity of purpose of the Council of Governors, where 47 ladies and gentlemen from different political parties and persuasions and from all regions in the country have lent their leadership, experience and voice to critical issues. We would like to encourage the Council to use this unifying voice to support the fight against corruption and to strengthen oversight, citizens' engagement and monitoring of county level programs. And with those remarks, I congratulate the new executive that will be unveiled and wish them all the best as they lead the Council into the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I also wish to recognize all of you, and also the CEO Pension Funds, Mr. Kili. At this point, I want to call upon our chief guest, who is the Minister for Devolution, to come and unveil the new Council of Governors leadership, and then we have the speech from the chair. So, Waziri Wamalwa.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is what brought us here today, and I am very, very honored to unveil the team that is going to lead the Council of Governors for the next 1 year. And just to echo what the CRA chair said, we're all very, very pleasantly surprised at how this election was conducted. Very peaceful. We see you together, all unscathed. We don't know what happened behind the closed doors, but it was peaceful. We didn't hear about this election until just the other day. Chairman Oparanya were with him in Western Kenya. I think 3 days is when I knew there would be an election. But in Kenya, the day after the election, campaign starts, and we talk about elections until the next election. But for the Council of Governors, the manner in which you have conducted your affairs, I wish Kenya would borrow a leaf from you and your leadership. Kenya will be a totally different place. We are very honored to be here and to unveil this team. It is now my pleasure to announce that the chairman, COG, is His Excellency Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya. His Vice Chair is His Excellency Governor Mwangi Wairia. The Whip is His Excellency Professor Kivuda Kibwana. the legal and we're now going to the committees, those who lead the committees. We have the legal and intergovernmental committee will be led by His Excellency Amason Kingi. Finance will be led by His Excellency Wycliffe Wangamati. The agricultural committee will be led by His Excellency Njuki Mudiomi. The Natural Resources Committee will be led by His Excellency Tunai. Gender and Youth will be led by His Excellency Professor Chepkoin. For the ASAL, and this is one person I'll be working very closely as the Minister in charge of devolution and ASAL, it will be led by His Excellency Professor Lonyanga Paul. For urban and infrastructure, this committee that's very critical, that we'll be working very closely with, will be led by His Excellency Lee Kinyanjui. The Education Committee will be led by His Excellency Mutahi Kahiga. HR and Labor, and I must thank the Council for electing this very, very experienced governor. We are also looking forward to working with him. As you know, the new term for the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee is about to begin. We're in the process of recruiting the new IGRTC team that will be taken over from Professor Karega Mtai, and that panel that is recruiting that is led by His Excellency Governor Ongwai, who will now be leading the HR and Labor Committee, and will also be co-chairing. Actually, he will be chairing the recruitment panel of IGRTC. We are looking forward to having that panel in place. The new team will work with the team that is coming in now. And last but not least, for trade, we have His Excellency Wambora. And I am told that in attendance, we had over 38 governors, I think almost 40. There were 2 apologies, and that is a very, very critical mass of our governors. I think it's a very high threshold, and I must thank all the governors who participated in this and congratulate those of you who have been elected. And just to pledge our support once more, we are already doing some legislation to strengthen the COG Secretariat to be anchored in the law. That amendment, as we speak, Honorable Excellencies, is already in the process, and I want to thank you and welcome you, Your Excellency the Chair. Sorry, we have missed one very critical chair for health, His Excellency Kuti. And I think he was the one chairing the previous team, and has been working very closely with us on UHC. And his county was also one of the pilot counties for UHC, and we want to thank him very, very much and congratulate you once more for the confidence that has been shown in your leadership, and for being re-elected Chairman Oparanya Pongezi. And may I take this opportunity to welcome you now to make your remarks and request the rest of us to be seated to hear from the new chair, Mongezi, my brother.
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you. Asante sana, Cabinet Secretary for Devolution. Excellency Governors who are here, the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Devolution and ASAL, the leadership of all independent offices, development partners, representatives from the private sector, distinguished guests, good afternoon. Today marks the beginning of another chapter for the Council of Governors. Let me convey my heartfelt thanks thanks to you, to all of you, Excellency Governors, for their support the last 1 year and re-electing me for another 1 year and final term. I stand here proud of what we have achieved. On my part, it has been a privilege, an honor, and humbling experience to serve as the chairman of the Council of Governors. The Council remains a key pillar in the implementation of the devolved system of governance. For this reason, we the governors are aware that in our dedication and teamwork that we will continue to strengthen the place of the Council in the constitutional dispensation. Ladies and gentlemen, in March 2020, it will be 7 years since the establishment of county governments. In that short period, remarkable transformation has been witnessed in service delivery in all counties. Also, public support for devolution has not waned. However, there are several challenges that must be addressed in order to firmly anchor devolution. Underfunding of county government is an issue we have continually highlighted. The Constitution places the minimum threshold of county allocation at 15%. Yet county government deliver the majority of the services. We are happy that the Building Bridges initiative is proposing to increase the threshold to 35. But as a council, we have recommended 45. Delayed disbursement has made the situation much worse, with some development projects almost being rendered paralyzed. The continued existence of regional development authorities and parastatals that perform similar functions as county governments is a factor that has contributed to reduced county allocation. Through intergovernmental forums, there is need for both levels of government to agree on restructuring models for such institutions. On the same issue of finances, we do admit that in the last year, two other challenges stood out. One was the prolonged and tedious division of revenue process that dragged on into the new financial year without resolution for 3 months. It is from this stalemate that prompted the county government to institute a Supreme Court reference seeking declaration of some fundamental constitutional principles relating to vertical sharing of revenue. Another problem was the bending bill in taking cognizance that the progress of our economy is dependent on the growth of small businesses. County governments have put in place strict measures to ensure that all eligible bending bills are paid. Therefore, I urge my brothers and sisters to speed up the process so that all these efforts can contribute to jump-starting of our economy. Ladies and gentlemen, on matters of security, we stand in solidarity with the families of those who have recently lost loved ones in terror-related attacks. Concerted efforts are required to deal with terrorism and violent extremists. As such, as much as security is an exclusive function of the national government, the two levels of government should work together collaboratively so that there is seamless information flow from the community policing communities to the policing committees to the national security agencies. I cannot also fail to mention the fight against corruption. This country is bleeding from the scars of corruption. We must all join the President in his effort to rid Kenya of wanton graft. All state officers and public officers must remain ethical and transparent in the conduct of their day-to-day work. The economy is losing billions because of corruption. Kenyans are suffering at the hands of cartels who continue to hold the nation hostage. As leaders, we have a duty, a non-negotiable duty, which is to live by the national values and principles of leadership entrenched in the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, on matters of health care, we are aware counties have reported that KEMSA have been delivering less than 50% of the orders for drugs from all the counties, noting that counties have been restricted from purchasing drugs from any other supplier except KEMSA. And KEMSA is proving not to have capacity to deliver to all counties on time. Healthcare service delivery will be hampered. We will pick this issue urgently for discussion with the National Health with a bid to finding a speedy and sustainable solution. As we move into another year of devolution, my desire is that this will be a year of closer and deeper partnerships. Synergy between the national government and county government is so important in delivery of development agencies and proper coordination. The two levels of government will achieve little. And cooperation should also be seen in the development partner and private sector forums. Ladies and gentlemen, to deliver the promise that came with devolved system of government in 2010, we require the contribution of each and every county. Our success depends largely on our ability to overcome divisiveness and form an unprecedented partnership which will lead us to unlimited possibilities. This will lead us to prosperity. No less was done for us by those who preceded us, and we need that vision, that commitment, now more than ever. I thank you very much for those who had the opportunity to come here and witness this very important occasion that we do every 1 year. And I want to repeat that I want to thank all my colleagues for their support that they have given me the last 1 year, the chair, and I hope they will give me that support during this final term that I want to commit myself as the chair of the Council of Governors. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. I think at this juncture, I wish to invite one governor to give a vote of thanks so that we
I think on behalf of all of us at the Council, would like to convey a vote of thanks to those who made this possible. First, we thank all the governors who took the time to be here today and to participate in this election. We also want to thank you for the manner in which it was conducted by consensus, and everybody agreed that we should give the team that has been there another year in totality. So we thank the Excellency Governors for their cooperation. We also would like to thank all the stakeholders who have come to support and who continue to support the Council of Governors in everything that they are doing. We also would like to thank our development partners for the support you've always given us, and also the COG Secretariat for making this possible. I think the only comment that I would like to make is, I'm sure you have seen, that picture has to change. And that is why many of us are supporting the BBI initiative. There are very many male, there was no gender representation, mostly out of choice. We did not present ourselves this year, but we know that if the Council had more women, then it was possible that we would have at least 2 or 3 women at the leadership. And so we urge everybody to support the Building Bridges initiative that proposes an alternative gender rule for the county level, where the governor is a male, the deputy is a female, and when the governor is a female, the deputy is a male. And I'm sure that will change and ensure we have gender parity at the top. And also, even if it doesn't apply, both at the regional level, which I've had being proposed today, and going forward, I hope in the next dispensation we will see a more equitable and balanced and even professionally balanced council. But having said that, I wanted it on record that it's not because the men did not want any women to stand. It's voluntary to present yourself, and this year no lady did.